and I hope you're going to join me for a very short but useful morning stretch. And I tend to use this when I know I'm going to be sitting in the counselling room in the counselling chair during the day for a long time, so it gives me an opportunity to just loosen up a little bit before I start work. So just ground yourself on your mat. Allow yourself to sink deeply into your seat bones. And just arrive at your practice with your breath, with awareness. We practice yoga from a feeling place rather than from a constructive having to meet certain shapes. You may wish to set your intention for the day, and we'll start with a seated twist. So taking your right hand to your left knee and bringing the other hand out just level with your shoulder, and let it gently come back towards the back of the mat. Place your fingers on the mat here, and a lovely inhale, making yourself a little taller, and on an exhale maybe look over your left shoulder. Try and feel where this is activating in your body. Coming back to centre, and let's go to the other side. Let the hips be heavy. There's a temptation to allow the knees to come up and the thighs come up a bit here, so let the knees be heavy, the thighs be heavy. Taking your left hand to your right knee, right hand out in front, and gently, softly bringing the hand behind, placing it on the mat. Get those thighs nice and heavy. Inhale to stretch up. Remember, we always want to elongate the spine before we twist, and on an exhale, looking over your right shoulder. And coming back to centre. Now let's stretch our legs out and come onto our back. This is a short practice, so let's get moving. Feel the weight of your body on your mat. You really intuitively notice where bits of your body touch your mat and how they feel in different days of your practice. So on a big inhale, we're going to raise our hands up and backwards towards the back of the mat. Inhale. And on an exhale, we're going to bring the hands, the head, the neck and the knees up. And inhale. And exhale. Keep it going. One more. And bring the hands down to your side. So let's bend the right knee up and put the left hand onto the right knee and the right hand out to the side. Now you're going to lift that right leg and take the foot over to the opposite side of your left leg. And here, gently twist. And I'm very gentle here, and look towards the right hand. And can you feel the stretch, the flexion through the hip here, through the thigh? And coming back to centre. And let's go to the other side. So right hand to left knee, taking the left foot over your right leg, left hand out to the side, and a gentle twist to the right. And looking here towards your left hand, try and feel those shoulder blades on the floor. Your right shoulder will rise a little, your left hip will rise a little. Our hip flexors do not have the ability to go 180, 360 degrees for us all the time. So be gentle here. In fact, 360 degrees none of the time really, even though it is a ball and socket joint. Okay, so bringing yourself back to a central position here. And now we're going to come into a reclined pigeon. So let's bring the left leg up And let's cross the right ankle over. And thread the hands in between so your fingers are back of your left thigh. And now just feel into that right hip joint. You'll feel it through your glutes, you'll feel it through your lower back a little, you'll feel it through your hips and thigh, and just maybe a little gentle pulse if that feels right for your practice. And let's go to the other side. So we're going to cross our left foot over behind our right knee and lift the right leg up. And you may feel different on this side. Our body is not, there's no symmetry really in our feeling and in our muscles and our joints. So sometimes we can feel very different to the left to what we can to the right. And lowering the right leg down and stretching it out. Now I want you to bring your right hip a little bit closer to the right side of your mat. And take your left foot out towards the left side of your mat, lift the right leg and cross over at the ankle. Now bring your hands up to prayer above your head and see if you could now point your fingers a little bit towards the left side of your mat for Bananasana or Bananasana or Banasana. Feel the stretch in the right side body through the armpit chest. If you want to have a little more stretch, you can take hold of your right wrist with your left hand and pull that hand just gently to increase the stretch. But this is first thing, so I would keep prayer pose above my head. Okay, and coming back to a neutral position, let's take your hip to the left side of your mat. I find this a little easier when cueing people to get their legs in a position for Banasana. So take your right foot towards the right of your mat, cross your left foot over at the ankle, bring the hands up into prayer above your head, and now see if you could take your hands and maybe shift your shoulders a little into Banasana to the right. You should be feeling a stretch here in your left side body. Try and allow your shoulders to be heavy and breathe in to the asana. The breath is so important. If you hold the breath, you can get the oxygen through the muscles and you're liable to hang on to a tense body. So breathe. And coming back to centre, we're going to bend the knees up towards our chest, bringing our heels up towards our buttocks. Hands flat on the mat, pressing into the palms. We're going to raise the hips to a kind of very shallow bridge. So we have an inhale and an exhale, lift. Make sure you've got the weight in all corners of your feet. If you feel that you want to increase your bridge, you might bring your hands underneath in a clasp under your buttocks, roll the shoulders under and take a slightly higher bridge pose. Don't let the knees splay, keep the weight into the feet and release and slowly come down vertebrae by vertebrae. And to finish our short stretching, warming practice for the morning to get the day started, we're going to take the knees into our hands and just gently draw some circles. And let's go the other way. and release the feet to the floor. And very mindfully coming to your side, slowly pressing up and coming back to your mat. Well, thank you for joining me for this short warm up and stretch, and I hope to see you again back on the mat.